Before The Hunger Games and X-Men launched her to stardom, Winter's Bone, a grueling, superbly paced thriller, introduced Jennifer Lawrence and her immense talent to the world. Lawrence stars as Rhee, a poor teenager in the Ozarks who must support her younger siblings and her disabled mother. Rhee risks losing her house because her deadbeat, meth-cooking father won't make it to his trial, but her extended family turns on her as she tries to find her father and determine if he's been murdered. Before I go any further, I want to briefly talk about genre and how it can be different from what it appears. I still think that The Raid Redemption is a highly effective horror movie as well as an excellent martial arts action flick. The Raid's brutal fight scenes are some of the best ever produced, but the film is also extraordinarily tense and a triumph in tone and atmosphere. The film is permeated with a grim, oppressive mood, as the main characters are trapped in a fortress-like skyscraper and assaulted by humanity at its most sadistic, corrupt, and desperately vicious. It's horror in a plausible, real-world context. Similarly, I would consider Winter's Bone to be a horror movie rooted in the cruelty and depression of reality in some parts of the United States. Winter's Bone sadly illustrates how a cold, survivalist attitude can take over and crime can become an everyday fixture of life in places where education is minimal, infrastructure is broken, and life is so harsh. The characters acknowledge Rhee's father Jessup's meth manufacturing with a matter-of-fact acceptance, and though Rhee needs to find her father dead or alive, thus framing Jessup as the MacGuffin of the plot, there is the strong impression that Rhee wants him dead, and who could blame her? Domestic violence and strife appear to be commonplace, and Rhee's kin rebuff her pleas for information, and even brutally beat her up when she persists, out of a mentality of minding your own business and not rocking the boat. Winter's Bone generates a haunting, confronting vibe of a community brought to its knees by poverty and isolation, and where human decency has withered as a result. Even as I took in the engaging drama and bleak tone, my imagination was racing. The setting feels both contemporary and primitive. Combined with the characters eking out meager lives in a desolate landscape, this setting brings to mind any number of post-apocalyptic media. Ignore all the working cars, view the army recruiter as an NCR soldier, and make everything a little radioactive, and this could be a legitimate Fallout side story. Dress the sheriff in white and a face-obscuring helmet, and dress the army recruiter more flamboyantly, and the Ozarks setting could be a less sanitized District 12. You'd also have to discard Peeta and Gale from the Hunger Games, but wouldn't that make the series 10 times better? It's fitting that I should mention the Hunger Games, as that brings me to Jennifer Lawrence's performance. Contrary to what some of you think, I don't hate Jennifer Lawrence. She's an amazing actress and a very friendly, humble, and cool person, but I simply think she's a bit overrated and overexposed. No, that isn't a joke about her nude photos being leaked, and I don't like some of her big movies. Silver Linings Playbook and the first Hunger Games movie are pretty bad. Lawrence delivers an amazing performance as Rhee, striking the ideal balance between tenacious courage and vulnerability. She is utterly believable as a girl who had to grow up too fast and provide for her family alone. You sense her hidden pain and despair at her circumstances, but also her loving dedication to her siblings, and her willingness to do whatever it takes for them. Winter's Bone is about poverty, family, and struggle, but also about limits, both present and absent. Rhee brings the townfolk to the end of their unreasonable tether with her questions, but even they relent when they become fully aware of her reasons, and all the while Rhee remains indomitable, making Winter's Bone as empowering as it is grim. The pacing is outstanding. The film clearly establishes the conflict and dire threat within the first 5 minutes, and keeps the suspense high as the deadline approaches and Rhee's situation worsens. The cinematography is starkly beautiful, and John Hawkes conveys terrifying gravitas and a wholly unexpected sensitivity as Teardrop, Rhee's creepy, meth-addicted uncle. Winter's Bone is a brilliant thriller, or if you like, a human horror movie, with a remarkable star performance from Jennifer Lawrence, a vividly bleak atmosphere, and a tense, compelling plot with themes of crime, perseverance, and the fragility of family bonds. And thankfully some hope in there as well. Winter's Bone earns 4.5 stars out of 5. Thanks for watching. Cheers.